My son James accidentally opened one of the lucky stars from my husband Harry's bookshelf. I took the star to fold it back and found a line of writing on the back. A kiss on a midsummer night when I was 18, witnessed only by moonlight and insects, can never see the light of day. July 23, 2011. That was the second year Harry and I were together. Trembling, I crouched down and opened another star. The best start to 19 was someone skipping class to be with me. October 9, 2012. In 2012, Harry said something happened at home, delaying his return to school by 5 days. The most secret joy at 27 was someone leaving the woman in the delivery room to be with me. October 15, 2020. That was my son's birthday. I had a C-section after natural labor, and only then did he arrive. I hemorrhaged badly and was rushed to intensive care. Turned out, my husband, supposedly tied up at work, was with the owner of these stars. My eyes blurred with tears as I looked at the star jar on Harry's bookshelf. This jar of lucky stars was a gift from Harry to me and our son when we got out of the hospital. He said he heard you could make a wish with 100 lucky stars and he wished for our health. I cherished it so much I placed it on his bookshelf, scared of ruining it. Every time I tidied up his study I carefully wiped those stars. Turns out, they were evidence of my husband's cheating. From 2011 to 2020, it spread across our entire youth, the best years of our lives. I wasn't unfamiliar with the owner of the handwriting. In the fall of 2014, Tina suddenly lost her hearing at the university. Harry was abroad as an exchange student and couldn't return. Red-eyed, he begged me to go to Tina's city to look after her. I took a whole 2-week leave, staying in a strange city, by the side of a frightened, bad-tempered but fragile Tina. Harry used to say, although we joked about being siblings since middle school, you know my parents only had one son. I envy others with plenty of siblings. I see Tina as a sister. Because he called her a sister, I devoted myself to caring for Tina for half a month. In the morning, she wouldn't wake up, I'd run out to buy her favorite buns and salty tofu brains, watching her finish them. When Tina went to the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, I personally took her there, waiting outside until she finished. During 4 drips, she would drowsily nod off, and I'd keep watch over every packet. In the afternoon, if she wanted to sneak out for a walk, I'd keep her safe on the inner side of the road, fearing she'd run into trouble. When in a good mood, Tina would gently type sister in messages. She only called me sister and said she liked me. Her eyes were always needy and lost, eyes of someone about to enter society but suddenly hit hard. From Harry's request at first, I genuinely cared, seeing her as a sister. She had to take many bitter medicines, grimacing silently each time. Gradually, I always had a few white rabbit candies in my pocket. After her meds, I'd quietly slip one into her hand and she'd quickly unwrap and pop it into her mouth. After finishing her candy, she'd sweetly say, "Tina likes you the best." I'd joke back in messages, "More important than your brother?" She'd nod vigorously, holding my hand. Even after her hearing returned, she never gave up her habit of being affectionate. She'd whisper complaints about the cafeteria's closed noodles or buy me a trinket while shopping even if it was unnecessary. I wonder what she thought when I cared for her so carefully, always giving her things she liked. Did she and Harry secretly laugh at how naive I was? I put the jar of lucky stars back, sarcastically piecing it back together. Using a hairpin, I opened the locked drawer on Harry's desk and found, just as I expected, a stack of letters. I couldn't help but let out a mocking laugh. This was Harry and Tina's favorite thing in high school, writing letters to each other, despite being just a half-hour bike ride apart. Back then I was such a fool. Although Harry and I had an understanding, I helped him mail letters to Tina, unable to leave campus. With trembling hands, I pulled out a letter, the handwriting still familiar, dated April 23, 2009. A young Tina wrote, pretending to be melancholic, "I feel like no relationship is more reliable than siblings. I don't want to be your first love or your lover. Let's just be siblings." Clearly, they'd seen eye to eye long before, while I remained clueless. Frantic, I drew another letter dated March 11, 2010. That was when Harry's mom Kate had met me. Tina's bold handwriting said, "Why does your mom say Luna is skinny and short? What's with her saying she'll be satisfied seeing me? Have you forgotten we're supposed to be siblings? You're gutsy for joking about your sister." Turned out my mother-in-law secretly disdained me and had told Tina everything. Harry had naturally compared me to Tina and found me lacking in comparison. As I sifted through the pile of letters, the blazing sun was hidden by a dark layer of clouds, much like my current mood. At the bottom of the letters, I found a thick stack of purchase receipts. All for Barbie dolls. Hundreds, thousands, the pile of receipts was endless. My hands shaking, I opened my phone only to find it blurred by tears and I couldn't unlock it. Clumsily wiping my phone on my clothes over and over, I finally unlocked it and saw Tina's wallpaper. Stacked upon each other were a heap of Barbie dolls. The irony was, I had liked her wallpaper, unknowingly liking the evidence of my husband's infatuation with her. Even last year for Tina's birthday, I had gifted her a Barbie doll. What did Harry say back then? He said Tina probably already had that edition since she collected so many. Turns out, it was Harry who had been buying them for her. I carefully examined those purchase records. March 2011, July 2011, November 2011. In just that 1 year, Harry bought Tina $5,000 worth of Barbie dolls. During that time, I was handing out flyers for half a year to save enough for our Italy trip. Purchase records stretched from 2011, sometimes overlapping, up to recent times, the latest being this May. I wanted to enroll our son in an English class, but the fee of $30,000 kept me hesitant. Meanwhile, at the same time, Harry bought Tina another pair of Barbie dolls. Harry is a diamond member of a local toy store but has never gotten anything for our son since his birth, not a single toy. His overflowing love was all given to his so-called sister. Once Pandora's box was opened, many things hidden in the dark came rushing out. Even back in 2014, when I was taking care of Tina and was closest to her, Harry came back from abroad and went straight to Tina's city, staying with her for 5 days. I watched Harry put the photo album at the bottom of the drawer, the playground background, Harry, and Tina smiling sweetly. The date noted was my birthday. Tina called me, acting cute, asking for the first bite of my cake. I had a local cake delivered to her dorm via takeaway. I was puzzled back then why she didn't call to thank me. Turns out, Tina at the amusement park didn't receive my cake. Meanwhile, Harry was even more amusing. He sent me an apologetic message saying he couldn't come back to spend my birthday with me, promising he'd make it up someday. Turns out, they were in the same city, holding hands, playing cheek to cheek, even conspiring to lie to me together. Fine, this is my so-called beloved husband and my cherished sister. I took photos of everything, preserved the evidence, restored everything back to its place, and sent our son to my mom's. Then I sat on the couch and went through all of Tina and Harry's social media accounts. It turned out their social media was a playground for flaunting their love. The occasional hairband or the same cake in photos. Because I hardly used social media, I was clueless about it all. Now, my only curiosity is, if they love each other so much, why drag me into this mess? I'm not someone who clings. Initially, it was Harry who seriously pursued me, from pursuing to defining our relationship, to proposing, to marrying me. Every step was earnest and devout. Looking back now, it's like swallowing a fly, just stuck, neither going up nor down. How dare they play me like this? When Harry came home that night, just like usual, he had my favorite little barbecue cakes in one hand and my favorite lavender in the other. Was James being difficult today? He sent a video saying you looked stern when dropping him off at Grandma's. Like every other day after work, he was attentive to my mood, trying to surprise me, but I knew it'd never be the same again. Maybe it was all a sham, my proud cake was rotten on the inside. Harry placed the stuff down carefully, washed his hands, then cautiously hugged me from behind, not happy. Facing away from him, I tried to keep my voice normal, how come Tina hasn't come over lately? I kinda miss her. You know her, she's spontaneous. The other day she said she wanted to go horseback riding on grasslands, probably in Xinjiang by now. I casually said, it's curious how your feelings as siblings are as good as ever after all these years. Harry's arms stiffened slightly. Tina is closer to you than me now. She's been afraid of being alone since she was a kid. You knew her early on? Harry hesitated a bit. Not that early, middle school classmates, got close in 8th grade. I turned, catching every bit of his expression. Isn't 8th grade when kids first start having crushes? How come you guys went from lovers to siblings? Harry seemed lost in thought, nostalgia flashing in his eyes. Every relationship is different. It's fate to meet. If I hadn't seen those folded stars and letters, I might have believed him. I looked into his eyes. Today, when buying things at the toy store for James, there was a promotion, buy one get one, so I gave your number. They said you're a Gold Diamond member? Harry rubbed his head, eyes flustered, hesitatingly piecing his words together. Oh, you know Tina. Scared of her mom finding out about her shopping, always blaming our account for her big expenses. I acted like I got it, no wonder. The clerk said we've bought loads of Barbie dolls. I thought you had a secret daughter out there. Harry wiped the sweat forming at his hairline. What nonsense are you thinking? It's not even summer yet, how's it so hot? I'll just take a shower first, we can talk later. Harry thought he was flawless. Yet having been with him for 10 years, I knew every micro-expression, every movement. Scratching his head was lying, fleeing was guilt. Not past tense, but present continuous. A love for his sister longer than our marriage. Seeing his phone casually tossed on the desk, I unlocked it and found Tina's chat. Like I expected, messages on mute, all cleared. I directly sent one, I miss you. Almost instantly, Tina replied, how much? You promised while I'm traveling you wouldn't touch Luna. If I find out you're lying, watch out. Damn it, I should have claimed you back then, wouldn't be hiding like a mistress now. I was the first. I tested by sending another, Luna knows about us. Their typing status kept appearing and disappearing, finally sending 3 exclamation marks. What did she say? She must hate me now. What are you going to do? Will she call me? What should I do? Reading the familiar tone, I could picture her frantic face. This time, I felt no fondness. Only the betrayal of deep-seated plans, playing me like a naive side character. They both deserved punishment. You always said, you know what you've lost only when it's gone. Tina, let's try to make our wrong circle right again. After sending, I coldly watched the typing status repeatedly pop up, eventually receiving a long string of messages. Without deleting anything, I let Tina keep sending her long messages, letters even, without reading or replying. Harry came out wrapped in a robe. Thinking of Tina's recent messages, I whispered in his ear, bought something new, let's try it out tonight? Harry hurriedly secured his robe. Luna, I'm a bit tired these days, maybe another time? I watched him feign rubbing his temples, then grabbing another robe, turning back into the bathroom. I knew, the time I spent showering would be enough for Harry to see the chat record. From age 18 through my 30s, I'd been with Harry for 10+ years. It was hard to imagine us having an honest, open confrontation. And just like that, after my shower, it's all out in the open for the 3 of us. But as soon as I got shampoo in my hair, Harry started banging on the door. Luna, listen to me. Luna, there's a misunderstanding. I kept quiet, massaging the lather into my hair, then rinsing it out bit by bit. Harry seemed to be saying a lot outside the door, but it was like I had gone deaf. Maybe Tina's hearing loss in 2014 affected me too, because I couldn't hear anything. No pounding on the door, nothing Harry was saying outside. My emotions, barely held together all day, finally broke under the running water, as tears started streaming down my face. What does Harry take me for? And what does Tina take me for? When the pandemic hit in 2019, she was in the city next to us with a high fever and no meds. Harry was on a business trip abroad. I dropped my kid off at my mom's, ignoring his cries, and drove all night to get her medicine. The picture of Tina behind that door, eyes red in the video call, still swirls in my memory. Was she crying for our friendship, or feeling guilty for wronging me? And damn Harry, knowing I drove to the next city overnight, calling me again and again. Was he worried about me or whether Tina got her medicine? Who could say? With all my tears seemingly drained, I finally finished my shower and came out in a robe. Harry was crouched by the bathroom door, looking up at me with eyes that were red and full of anxiety. The sight weirdly reminded me of when he was a teenager, crouching on the playground, nervously asking me if we could go to the same college. I honestly couldn't tell which Harry was more sincere. Or maybe neither was, and they were both deceitful. I picked up the hairdryer and Harry, like every night, carefully took it and started drying my hair. In a daze, several hot tears fell on my face. Harry clumsily wiped them with his hand but couldn't keep up, eventually just turning off the hairdryer and breaking down in tears, crouching on the floor. I got up, turned the dryer back on, and finished my hair myself. Then, I went to the bathroom, splashing my face with water, especially where Harry's tears had fallen. I felt it needed cleaning. Harry trailed behind me, persistent. Luna, I can explain. Explain? Harry, do you think it's fun playing me like a fool? Harry's voice was thick with tears. I'm sorry, we never meant to hurt you, After all these years, it turns out Harry and Tina were always on the same side. I finally asked what had plagued me all along. If you two liked each other, knew each other since middle school, why not be together instead of sneaking around? Is cheating what gives you joy? Or are you playing some twisted game I got dragged into? Harry suddenly stood and hugged me tightly. No, Luna, it's not like that. I broke free of his embrace. Then what is it, Harry? Tell me, why was all of this so ridiculous after so many years? You kissed Tina in our second year together. What was it about, Harry? During childbirth, as I nearly died, you left the room because of something she said. Don't you both think you're disgusting? Harry's expression shifted from fear to anger. Luna, I admit we didn't handle boundaries well, but that's no reason to slander Tina. Even now, he's trying to turn it on me? I looked at Harry's seemingly sincere eyes, pulled him into the study, and smashed the jar full of Lucky Stars onto the floor. He reached to catch it but was too late, watching helplessly as stars scattered everywhere. Why are you freaking out over these things if you're mad? Mad? I picked up one of the fallen stars randomly, unfolded it, and read it aloud to him. On the peak of mountain, Harry watches the sunrise. I watch Tina, my own little secret joy. August 23, 2015. Harry looked at the words in disbelief. Tina said she folded these for you and our son. I had no idea they were full of her memories. I never bothered to check. His eyes were full of regret for ignoring Tina's little gestures. A constant buzzing rang in my ears, breaking me out of this absurdity. I sharply questioned. In 2015, while I was in tears calling you about harassment at work, you told me you were on a business trip. You were really watching a sunrise with Tina on mountain? The piercing sound seemed to blur Harry's expression, and he eventually sighed. I was on a business trip to City B, and Tina just happened to be there, so I tagged along with her hiking, just accompanying her without realizing. I couldn't hold back my rage, stomping on the mocking stars littering the floor, watching as they flattened and got destroyed. I sank into a chair, defeated. How did I fall so low that I'm now squabbling with paper stars? Harry, picking up the stars with tender care, if you're mad, take it out on me. These stars are Tina's dear treasures. How can you disrespect this sincerity? I grabbed the keyboard from his desk and smashed it over his head. Who's disrespecting whose sincerity here? I kept on until blood trickled down from Harry's head, then, exhausted, dropped the keyboard to the floor. Harry, no matter what games you and Tina played over the years, I was honest and true to you both. If there's any conscience left in you, leave with nothing, and let this be an amicable goodbye. Harry clutched his bleeding head, closing his eyes. You've put in years, but have we not as well? Considering you, have you any idea the hurt Tina's endured? You know nothing. You've got an official title and a son, Tina's got nothing. With that, he shot me a deep glance and stormed out, slamming the door shut. Staring at his retreating figure, I stood still for a long time. Since the truth came out, I've been shocked, in denial, shamefully angry, losing control of my emotions. It wasn't until I saw him leaving that I truly came back to reality. I questioned every moment with Harry and Tina. When they faced me, were they being themselves or the personas they agreed on, making me just part of their scheme? The disappointment I felt wasn't just in them but also in myself. Am I not deserving of anyone's true affection? I opened the safe, gathered my valuables, packed mine and my son's belongings, and called a moving company. Before leaving, I took off the ring I had worn for over a decade. It was a simple ring Harry made from a coin when he was 18. When he gave it to me, embarrassed, he said, "This ring isn't worth much, but it holds all my love." And I wore it for over 10 years, not able to part with it even after marriage. Looking back on what used to be so important, I guess Harry's scoring system must go up to 100 points, right? I don't want a love that's incomplete. Tina sent me a bunch of messages. I didn't even open them, just blocked her right away. She couldn't give up and came to my company to find me. In the cafe downstairs, she held her right wrist tightly with her left hand, and her legs shook uncontrollably under the table. That's what she always does when she's nervous. When she saw me looking at her, she picked up her coffee. But her hand shook, and she spilled it on her white dress. She didn't even glance at the stain. "Luna, I never meant to steal Harry away from you." I nodded, watching her lie. Tina covered her face and let tears seep through her fingers. I thought what I had with Harry was just some teenage thing. But, over the years, no one else has gotten into my heart. I got so sick and tired of it. So I picked up the coffee in front of me and splashed it all over her. "Haven't you had enough of acting in front of me all these years?" Tina awkwardly wiped the coffee off her face. "With all these years between us, does it have to end like this?" Every word she says is about feelings, but has she ever shown me any genuine kindness? Keep your filthy feelings for your so-called brother. Tina's eyes turned red, staring at me like she'd been horribly wronged. I grabbed the coffee in front of her and splashed it on her again. "Keep your innocent act to yourself. I'm not buying it." 2 cups of coffee later, Tina's fake nature got washed off a little. "Luna, to be honest, if I hadn't let go of Harry back then, you wouldn't even be in the picture now. When I was the sister who would sneak you candies while you were taking awful medicine, do you really think I'd just watch Harry marry you and start a family?" Tina was covered in coffee, her eyes swollen from crying. She stared at me looking all wronged and patient. "So you're saying I should thank you for all your sacrifices over the years? So much so that even when I was hemorrhaging after having a kid, you'd still try to lure my husband away?" Tina forced a pitiful smile. "Ha. I gave so much, was patient for so long, only reaching out to him a few times when I couldn't hold back missing him, and you can't even handle that? Can't you think of it from my side? Do you know what it feels like to see the man you love with someone else?" I have no idea. All I know is that Tina is out of her mind. "So I'm with my husband because of your patience? I have to feel for you. Are you out of your mind?" Seeing my cold expression, Tina grabbed her purse. "Since you don't need my patience, let's see who Harry will choose between us. From now on, may the best woman win." Tina strutted away, and I sat there for a long time without moving. What kind of twisted logic is that? She's saying the reason she didn't destroy my marriage by making my husband leave is because she has feelings for me? Well, I honestly wish we never met. Since that showdown, Tina started flaunting their romance online. I gathered all the evidence of Harry cheating. But she used it as evidence of their years of everlasting love and posted it on social media. Tina even pinned a short video with 2 transitioning images. The first was a yellowed piece of paper: "I'll buy Tina lots of Barbie dolls one day, so she never envies anyone." The second was an image of a pile of Barbie dolls. Tina's caption read, "A promise from youth, still holds true today." That short video got millions of likes. People were commenting about their fairy tale love story. Even some girls tagged their boyfriends, saying, "Babe, you'll treat me like this too, right?" Before long, media outlets jumped on the bandwagon, claiming they'd regained faith in love. Tina posted yet another update: "I'm sure, no matter when, Harry will always choose me first." I took screenshots and consulted a lawyer about which of these would help me more in the fight for custody or property division. As Tina's online presence grew, I contacted Harry to go to the registrar's office for a divorce. "You leave with nothing. The house, the car, the savings, and our son will all be mine." Harry was in disbelief. "Luna, how did you become so materialistic? That's the difference between you and Tina. Tina cares about Barbie dolls. And you? All you ever talk about are our son's school district, our parents' retirement, and career planning." I clenched my fists and looked at him rambling on, not believing how this man I'd been tangled up with for over a decade turned out to be so pathetic. But right now, nothing matters more than him walking away with nothing. With our son and money in my hands, I have my ways to deal with him and Tina. "Harry, you have one day to decide. If you don't agree, I'll make sure you and Tina are disgraced." Harry claims Tina only cares about those childhood Barbie dolls. If she'd willingly be a mistress for so many years for some dolls, and even proudly put it online for validation, Tina must be love-starved to seek out affection from her rival. And desperate to prove this disgusting love. Forget about all these unreal things. Solid cash makes me feel more secure. Harry owes me that. Harry agreed to the divorce. When we left the registrar's office, Tina was in the front seat, rolling down the window. "Luna, we don't owe you anything now." I held the divorce papers, not saying a word. It doesn't matter what they say. That night, I released the prepared information online. From when I caught my husband cheating, to gathering evidence, and to the mistress flaunting their affair during our marriage, it all went online. I even paid big bucks for a promoted spot. Throughout it all, I never mentioned Tina by name. But sharp-eyed netizens noticed that my evidence of infidelity overlapped with Tina's previously posted love-showing videos. Someone left a comment on my short video. "Girl, could that so-called fairy tale love be with your husband's mistress?" I candidly replied, "Ex-husband." The internet was in shock, with everyone voicing their outrage. What? The fairy tale love I adored is actually an affair? Blogger, you're so dense. 10 years, 10 years. Don't say more, girl, we'll go curse out those two shameless losers for you. Eager netizens hopped from my video onto Tina's. The matching handwriting, overlapping storylines, and my simple, ex-husband, had those once moved by their fairy tale romance feeling like they'd eaten an apple with worms, disgusted beyond words. Seriously? They flaunted their love while you weren't even divorced yet? Impatiently handing in evidence? A jerk and a wench should be stuck together. This girl's whole life got ruined by you two shameless creeps. A mistress doesn't deserve to call it love. Some snarky social media account was quick to question online, is it a heavenly romance or long-term cheating? Harry was freaking out, begging me to delete everything posted online. He was worried that our mutual friends or, worse, his bosses would see my videos, and it would be a disaster for him. He asked me to consider our son and let him keep some dignity. I just chuckled and tied together Harry's habit of buying Barbie dolls with my own efforts to scrimp and save. In no time, I followed up with another 5-minute-long video. I posted his toy store's gold membership card and showed every toy he never bought for our son since he was born. I couldn't make a clean break, 10+ years of devotion on my part. Betrayed, deceived, and trampled on. The wounds never heal unless the other party hurts more than I do, unless they pay the price. Otherwise, my anger will never fade. Seeing my firm stance, showing no signs of budging, Tina started a live stream. On camera, she covered her face, letting tears seep through her fingers. It took a long silence before she stammered out her story. Harry and I met in middle school and planned to be together after college entrance exams. But Luna pursued Harry hard in high school. Her parents' divorce and her mild depression made Harry tell her they'd be together if they got into the same college. I didn't make it, but Harry and Luna did. While I retook the exam, furious with Harry and Luna being in the same college, I started seeing other guys, unknowingly giving Luna the advantage. The live stream audience wasn't having it. Isn't it true Harry was with Luna first? Were you the third party? Sounds convenient, huh? Harry is trash too. Imagine being with someone out of spite, later they might cheat out of spite. No matter how much you argue, the blogger was with the jerk first, making you the one who intruded. Someone claiming to know the situation clapped back in the live. Sis, are you dreaming or something? Back then, Harry and Luna were the real deal. She had appendicitis in the middle of the night and Harry carried her to a cab. Luna loved some West City dessert, so Harry trekked 2 hours every morning to get it for her. And you call this true love? Please. Ugly troublemakers. Seeing the chat bring up all these old tales, Tina cracked, not true. Harry's always loved me. If I hadn't let Luna have her way, I would have married Harry. Get out of here. That piece of trash isn't some rare treasure. Who would want that? Such an idiot, poor Luna running into both of you. The live stream backfired on Tina, as the audience fully supported me, slamming both Tina and Harry. She ended the stream, basically shamed into silence. Watching Tina become a laughingstock online, I sent the news of Harry's cheating scandal spreading like wildfire on the web to his boss. Harry's been coasting for years, landing a stable job and settling in early. While I suffered through childbirth, he was cheating with Tina. Why should he enjoy a peaceful life? Within a couple of days, Harry got reassigned to a poor rural area. I checked the place on the map, saw it was a 34-hour drive away, and couldn't help but laugh. Will Tina, with her undying love, trail after Harry? Doesn't matter to me anymore. I poured all my energy into work and taking care of our son, scoring a sweet promotion as the second in command at my company. Sold our house and car for a good sum, bought a spacious apartment for me and my son instead. I no longer have to worry about Harry's parents' checkups or his stomach issues, cooking up soups for him. Started taking my son to explore nature, hitting up all kinds of fun family activities. During downtime, I'd binge watch, indulge in food, living my best, most comfortable life. Sometimes our mutual friends update me on Harry and Tina's plight. When Harry moved, Tina quit her job to follow him to the remote area. But it was too rudimentary there, and Tina kept her old spoiled antics. Hard labor wore down Harry, having to do everything without my help. With Tina's constant fawning, he got fed up, blaming her showing off online, which let me get the dirt. Tina, without realizing I wasn't blocking her anymore, found Harry even less patient, leading to fierce fights. They were even hitting each other at their worst. Hearing how miserable they were put my mind at ease. I thought we'd cut all ties until I went to pick up my son from preschool. The new teacher, blushing, said, "James ran to another man, calling him daddy. I thought it was you that sent James dad." Panic set in, I almost called the cops. But my son's voice behind me, calling for mommy, calmed me down. "Mommy, daddy took me for pizza, bought chicken, burgers, and my fave, soda. Mommy, I'm so happy." He babbled in my arms, sharing his joy, and I firmly told the teachers, "Confirm with me before anyone else picks up James." Harry, trailing behind us, whispered to our son, "So mommy's other person is really just daddy?" Ignoring Harry's fake cutesy act, I made sure the teachers got my drift, then pulled my son away from there. Harry followed us all the way to the car. I buckled my son into his car seat, directing my mom, who had been waiting in the car, to drive off with him. Then, glaring at Harry, I snapped, what's your deal? I've got custody, you can't just take him without my okay. Harry grabbed my arm, pleading, Luna, I messed up. Let's be a family again, I won't hurt you anymore. Please, for our son, give me a chance. I shook his hand off, dream on. We're divorced, who said 3 of us? With your cheating history, I worry you'll mess up our son. Best we never see each other again. Harry, eyes red, begged, Luna, think about our years together. How can you let that go? We promised each other so much. I stopped him, enough. Don't mention the past, that makes me sick. Every word makes me want to puke. As we argued, Tina ran over, eyes blazing. Harry. Luna. How dare you be such a disgusting liar? Luna, I'm Harry's girlfriend now. What right do you have to hang around him? I, too, found it laughable. Well, that's just the way it is. Your boyfriend's acting like a dog, always trying to suck up to me and my son. Can't blame anyone but yourself for not keeping your own dog in check. Tina glared at Harry, I went through hell to bring you back, and this is how you repay me? Harry shoved Tina hard, saying, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have lost my family. You, a shameless woman, always going on about how much you've sacrificed for me. Have you even been idle all these years? Tina wasn't having any of it and swung her handbag at Harry. I couldn't help but clap my hands. The 2 of them started brawling, and I picked up my phone, recording a video. I did a quick edit and posted it online. Turns out, those netizens hadn't forgotten about them. When they saw the scuffle I put online, they flooded the comments section. They said it was like a crazy story come to life, watching the jerk and his trashy girl fighting. Honestly, if my sister hadn't been with the jerk back then, these 2 idiots might not have been tangled up for so long. What old flames never die? It's just possessiveness. Once they're together, these selfish 2 can't get along. Harry and Tina couldn't see the online buzz, but I was watching them fight, all excited like it was fuel for their fire. Harry snatched Tina's bag and threw it into the moat with force. Tina, eyes red with anger, shouted, I put up with so much for you for years, lost my career and reputation. You think you can turn over a new leaf? Dream on. Tina picked up a brick from the ground and aimed it at Harry's head. Tina hit him with enough force to knock Harry down, clutching his head and yelling, You're crazy, Tina, you're a lunatic. You need love, go find your mom. Stop clinging to me like a pest. Something must have triggered Tina. Instead of just standing there with the brick, she kept hitting Harry with it. It reminded me of when I smashed a keyboard on Harry in anger, except a brick's a lot more harmful. Seeing Tina lose it, I didn't waste time and called the cops. Harry didn't make it through at the hospital, and Tina got arrested on the spot. As a witness, I cooperated with the investigation. Tina ended up getting the death penalty for murder. Before the cops took her away, Tina looked at me defeated. Happy now? Oh, I was thrilled. Totally. Those who betray genuine feelings. They deserve it.